I'm so pumped for this call. I feel like I've been counting down days for this call because I get to interview diamonds. And one thing about me is that it really, the whole entire time I've been doing this business, I've always just been like extremely fascinated to hear really successful people talk to each other. Like I've always just leaned in. Like if I could just eavesdrop on a conversation, I would have paid money to do it for real because I'm so curious about how extremely successful people think, how they behave, what their habits are, just like what they do, how they live their life, what are they like, you know? And so I would have literally paid money to be on a call like this, and I would have hung on every single word. And so tonight is just going to be really conversational with these diamonds who have built massive organizations, and they have just built incredibly successful businesses. But they're not just successful in business, they're also successful in their lives, like in their families and motherhood. And just I respect them so much in so many areas. But tonight we get to learn from them, and we're going to talk about what it took for their sponsors to recruit them. Because everybody wants to know, how do I recruit the next diamond, or maybe my first diamond? How do I recruit somebody who has the potential to build something amazing or go all the way to the top? And so those are the conversations we're going to be having tonight. And I'm telling you right now, some of the answers are going to completely shock you. They're going to be the polar opposite of what you probably have in your brain. You are going to learn so much from these women tonight, and I get to be the question asker. So, without further ado, let me jump into my first question slash questions, because it's like a lot of questions, but kind of like y'all get the gist of it, okay? But the first question is, did you say yes the first time your sponsor shared about the opportunity with you? And if not, how many times did she share about it with you? Or how long did it take to get you to start working the business? And like before, at the beginning of this, like what was your level of openness? What like objections did you have? What were your hesitations that you had before joining? Tell us about it. Alita, we'll start with you.
I literally was like, do not pick me first. I feel like I'm in Hollywood Squares. And I'm like, is she gonna pick me? Is she gonna pick me? Okay, I'm cracking up because you were saying how many times, like the first time that you were asked, did you say yes? Absolutely not. It was 18 months and I have gone back so many times and seen where she actually reached out to me, y'all. Why don't you just take a guess in the comments? How many times did it take you to say yes? If you're here, how many times did it take you to say yes? I was 18 months. 18 months of every single month opening up my Facebook messages and seeing a message from her just saying to me, listen, you'd be amazing at what I do. I would love to have you. Sometimes it was a product reach out, but it was 18 months.
So what were you thinking? Like what were your objections? Like why were you not an immediate yes? What were you thinking?
Okay, well, first of all, I thought I was a probiotic snob. I thought I knew everything there was to know about probiotics. I was a homesteader. I was dealing raw milk out of the back of my Suburban like, a crazy person, and I was, selling organic meats off my farm, and I just thought like I make my own probiotic out of sauerkraut and milk kefir and all those things. And I was a believer in supplements, but I thought they were weight loss. I thought it was something synthetic, and I just was, I'm like, it's the devil's juice or something. Like, I'm not drinking it, and you're not going to convince me. And so that was my first initial thought of what I was like, okay, no, I'm just really skeptical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I this is why I love stories like this, because I just remember being a silver and a gold and hearing that things like 80% of diamonds said no at first. And things like that, like when I would hear stories like that, it would make me think, okay, Well, it's normal for people to say no. It's normal for whenever I talk to somebody about this business opportunity that at first they just don't get it. You just
Hmm.
don't give up on those people, right?
Yeah.
So, Christina, how about you? How long did your sponsor follow up with you, you hard-headed? I'm just kidding.
Immediately I said yes. First time you asked me. You're welcome.
She was an easy sell. She was like,
Easy.
100% I'm in.
Whatever
Opposite
you
of the
want,
truth.
Brittany.
She ignored me a lot of times. Ignored,
Well,
rude.
I mean, ignore. That really implies a motive. I wasn't intending to ignore. I intended to come back when you came back with, I don't know, something different.
A
So
bigger paycheck.
a bigger paycheck.
Yes.
And that's what you did. Everything I want to say about this question is actually going to be answered in another question that you have. But I said yes after probably a year of being on the products. I was interested in her products. I would buy her stuff. Um, but I didn't think people could actually be successful at network marketing and stay successful at network marketing. And I was not interested in making some money one time. I was not, I mean, there's a lot of things I could have done to make a little bit of money. So, um, is that the end of the question?
Yeah, I think that's good. Anybody else want to add something to that? Any of you diamonds? Did you
Well,
did
I would
any of
I would
you?
add I would add in there that like during the 18 months, because someone said, did you get annoyed? I saw in the comments, did you get annoyed during those time? I really didn't get annoyed. I was just like kind of watching her and feeling like, okay, she's doing something that she's loving to do. I'm like, I'm just not into it. And then she switched. And the last probably 10 months of her messaging was all about why I would be really good at what she was doing. That I was a community builder. She's like, I see you working so hard with selling homemade cheese and butter and bread, and you're working so hard. You could really be successful at what I do. And that was every single month. And so by that point, I went from being like, you're selling something crazy to literally being like, she wants me on her team. Like, I don't really know what the team is, but like, she wants me on her team. And it gave me this confidence that if I were to be interested, that she thinks I could do
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Were you annoyed, Christina? Tell the truth.
it.
No, I wasn't annoyed because you never made me feel like your success was dependent on whether or not I did what you wanted me to do. At no point did I think I'm gonna need this girl to get up off me. Like you were very poised and confident. Like this is what I'm doing. Here's why I'm doing it. Here's why I thought you might want to also. But at no point did I feel like you were needy or like, ugh, no, not needy. Yeah, you just were inviting me along to do something.
Yeah, I think the key is well, authenticity, but the key is complimenting them, like telling them authentically what you see in them that and be specific but genuine, because people can tell the difference between a genuine compliment versus flattery. Flattery makes people suspicious, but a compliment that's genuine, that really does build people's confidence. It's much appreciated, and people don't get annoyed by compliments. Think about how many times in a day you hear a genuine compliment. People don't get annoyed by that. And so if you're really communicating specific reasons why you see potential in somebody, they're not going to get annoyed by that. Any other thoughts on this, Diamonds, before I go to the
I
next
do. I
question?
do real
Okay.
quick about getting annoyed. This is something that's always baffled me. Like it's often one of the very first objections when somebody new is sharing. They're like, I don't want to annoy people. I don't want to annoy people. And I've come to realize like it's the people who are annoyed at other people that feel like they will annoy other people. So I try to figure out why do you feel annoyed? Why do you make the assumption that they will feel annoyed? I personally have never felt annoyed. Like, yes, there are some people who will try to sell me something, and you can tell they haven't done the personal growth and they're kind of desperate. But I've never felt annoyance of them because they're literally loving what they do and trying to help you or trying to give you something that would be of value, like no matter what it is. Like, I have never felt annoyance for it. So I do not understand that. And maybe if you do feel annoyed, figure out why.
Great point, Eva. Great point. Were
I
you
have
going to say
something
something,
to say.
Amber? Oh,
Yeah.
Lori, you're here.
Oh,
I thought you weren't coming. Yes, I want you to answer my
I'm in a
question.
hotel, but I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, so what Alita said makes me think of one of the favorite parts that I have with this business is this is the time when you get to point out the wonderful things that you see in people. Like they
Mhm.
rarely hear that. And so if you heard Alita shift, like she thinks I got something special. If you think somebody has something special, even if they never join your team, like you get to bless them by telling them those things.
Hmm. Yes. Lori, do you want to share with us how long your sponsor followed up with you about the opportunity and what you thought at first and how did she get you to jump in the opportunity?
Sure. Well, my story is kind of unique because my daughter signed me up and I did not know. I'll let her tell the story, but I didn't know that I was the goal of this band of youngsters because they were young when they first started the business and they were like, we're a little young, but your mom, like we really want to get your mom. Um, and so she had to follow up with me several times. She got me to take the products and I liked the products. And I was like, we're going to stop there. Like, I'm not going to be doing any business. Actually, my reaction when I found out my daughter was going to do this as a business is, oh no, my baby got involved in one of those things. Like, how am I going to get her out of this? And multiple seven figures later, thank you so much, Amber, for following up on me. Um, I'm just so grateful that she followed up on me the way she did because what her and Lizzie did is they got me in the right room. They got me exposed to a business event. And then I was like, okay, fine. I like this. I could see why you're doing it. But then they got me exposed a second time. And I'll let Amber tell that story, but she went way out of the way to get me in the right room. And it has paid off so much for her and for me.
So
I'd
good.
also I'd also add with follow up, and I love our story, but if you're feeling annoying, think about, are you asking them to do something for you or are you offering them something for them? Right? So when I'm in a position of offering, like I will keep offering to someone that I know this could be amazing for, because my goal is to inspire them to take action for them, not for me, because I'll be here for life. So just like someone said, it's not dependent on their answer. And someone can tell that in your messaging. The thing that we all, diamonds all have right now that we had to work to create was not having scarcity in our business. Because when we're messaging people, we're just excited about the inspiration of what we're showing them. We're not worried about them saying no because there's millions of fish in the sea. And we're not worried about running out of network or contacts because this isn't a race, it's a process, right? And people can feel that in what we're saying. And follow up is also, when done in service-based, inspirational way, is a high form of flattery, like good flattery. What Alita's sponsor saw, Alita felt flattered in a good, genuine way of, man, she wants me, because the follow-up was done so consistently because of what she truly saw in Alita, not a random once a year because you're trying to get an order. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
Or at the
So
end of the
good.
month when you know you're trying to get
Yes.
it in order. Like it
Yeah.
definitely felt long-term vision, right? Over just like, I need you. Like Christina said that. I didn't feel like you needed me for you to be for Brittany to be successful. I knew you actually saw this in me. And as I watched my upline be more successful, I got more and more inspired for that very reason. Because I'm like, okay, she actually thinks that I could do it versus she's just saying this to get an order. That's a great point.
Yeah. So I think what we should all take away from this is that it is totally normal for somebody who has high potential to not be interested at first, and it you should expect to have to take someone through an exposure process. That's what you should expect. That's usually what it takes to recruit somebody who is going to be a high achiever, okay? They're not like low-hanging fruit usually. You're going to have to make a believer out of them. You're going to have to continue to communicate potential and belief and all those good things about the opportunity. All right, let's go on to the next question. So, how did your sponsor first bring up the opportunity with you? What specifically did they say that made you take them seriously? Did they reach out about the product first and then the business? Was it the business first? Was it both? What was their tone like? Were they confident? Were they casual? Were they curious? Like, did they treat you like did they talk to you like you were a leader from the beginning, or did that grow over time? Like, tell us what your sponsor said. Wendy, I'd love to hear from you on this.
I love the way that Kristen Love shared that with me. I mean, she got me on a call. I had been on the products for a couple of months, and she got me on the call basically to go over the back office. And when she got me to kind of like look at the business from a statistical standpoint, and then telling me where to go look for a paycheck, where our commission summary was, like, it all registered that this was an opportunity for me to make money. Selling something that was already working for me that I knew could work for everybody else. Mm-hmm. And so she planted those seeds right in front of me because of our back office. And she said on that very call, which I think was the clicker for me, was, you could be a diamond if you wanted to be in this company. And I already knew what diamonds were making because we used to get these pamphlets on the business back then. And it went over the points and how many we needed 4,500 points and how much money a diamond would make at 4,500 points. Like, I already knew how much money that was. And I'm like, that's a month? That's insane. But when she said, I know you could be a diamond if you want to be, like, yeah, I think you should do it.
Awesome. So she communicated big vision and she communicated big belief in you. Mm-hmm. I love it. All right, Brenda, how about you? Well, same sponsor as Wendy and Eva.
Yeah, I was just going to say, same sponsor, so somewhat similar, because she told me too, she can totally see me being diamond. She's like, I mean, look what you've done with your life and your family already. You have like what it takes to go out there and make something big of the next thing, right? But one of your questions was, what was her tone? And that really hit me because she had only started herself 2 weeks before, but she was confident, but because she had been in one of those same rooms as Lori. And she said, I saw those checks. I know this is the real thing. And I know you can do it too. So she had a confidence, but yet a little bit casual. She wasn't like crazy over the top because she knew that wouldn't work with me. But she did say another thing. She said, I know people will trust you. And that really struck me too, because I'm like, yeah, that really matters to me because I've always been genuine and authentic. And that was what scared me about doing network marketing, is being one of those weird people. And I'm like, if I can just be myself and do this, then yeah, that will work. So she knew how to kind of point some of those things out to me. But one thing that really helped me see, I think, maybe my potential in a different way was when she brought on a couple accounts that I thought were way bigger than me, a couple people that had like huge followings. And I'm like, oh my word. Okay, little old me is going to have to like race to try to catch up to what they're going to do for her and her team. And she said, you're going to pass them. I'm not even worried. You're going to do better. And I did. But I wonder if it's because she said that, right? She's put that confidence in me. And so that was really, really, I think some of the main things that stood out to me. Oh, and another thing she did, she added me to a Facebook group and welcomed me to all the people in there. It was like Sonia and Helen's group.
Without asking you
first? She didn't ask me first. And she's like, welcome to this Brenda. She has 11 children. And she's going to do all these amazing things. And I was like, what did she just do? But it exposed me to so much amazing stuff I needed to see.
I love that she told you were going to pass those influencers. Have you guys ever seen that study of, I think it was like, they did a study, it was like teachers and students, but they told the teachers, you are the best teachers. You are the best performing teachers. Your students are scoring the highest. And then they told the students, you are the highest performing students. So we're going to give you the best teachers. And then at the end of the year, they revealed that after the test results were the highest performing test results, but they revealed to them that they were actually at the beginning of the year not the best performing teachers and not the best performing students, but because both believed that they were, that was the result that they got. So let that be a lesson about what you should be communicating about belief in your people, and also make it be genuine. Brenda, I think she genuinely did believe that about you. She's pretty smart. She probably really did see that potential in you. All right, Eva, how about you?
All right, same upline, Kristen. So, Kristen sent me this long message. I think she had just joined for maybe 2 weeks, something like that. She was brand new too. She sent me this long text message, and I was like, I think you might have gotten hacked because it didn't sound like her. And we'd only chatted a little bit before this homeschool stuff, and so I didn't really know her, but it didn't sound like her. She sent me this long message. She's like, "No, this is for real. This is like what I'm doing, and this is why I think you should do it. This is why I think you would be good at it." And her tone was absolute belief and excitement and belief that I could do it too. And same thing, Wendy. She got me on a call to tell me the entire compensation plan on the phone, which I was like looking at Andrew while she was talking to me, like, I don't know what she's saying, but she
She's
is so
talking to the wrong Enneagram. Andrew, help.
So Andrew was already looking at this, so I could count on him to translate this, but what got me was she was so excited. She was telling me who else was joining. She was telling me about the other women that were making money, and I often asked her in the first year or so to show me paychecks, and right at the beginning to show me actual paychecks, her paycheck, other people's paychecks that she knew, so I could see that that was real. And I'm like, basically, if she could do it, why couldn't I do it? That was my thought. It was really hard at the beginning to like get going because I had all of these objections come in, but she put me in this room with Wendy and Brenda and like all these other ladies, and it was a whole vibe. Like she never asked, she just put us together and we just like ran with it. It was so exciting. It was her whole belief in us.
It was a whole vibe.
Yeah.
And I love too also how Brenda said she wasn't like super high energy. It wasn't that her energy that sold you, it was her confidence. And you can
Yeah.
speak with authority. If you have confidence, you need some weight behind your voice to have to speak with authority, but you don't have to like hype yourself up if that's not how you normally talk. Like people will feel oversold. Just be authentic, be yourself, but really believe in what you're saying. If you are believing in what you're saying, then you should be able to communicate that belief to other people. All right, Christina, you wanted to answer this one.
Not this one.
Well, your name is here, but I mean, I haven't made any mistakes before in my life, but this could be the first time. So
The good news is you recruited me, and that wasn't a mistake. So,
and we lived happily ever after.
Well,
I do
we
want to
lived.
say this. So my sponsor recruited me. She's Fallon Reed, and she's a Star Diamond. But I was on the products first, and she told me about the business. She's like, you can make money doing this, right? And I was just like, yeah, I just didn't really see myself as a salesperson. Like I'd never sold anything, didn't really want to either. Didn't really know many people. I had low belief in myself. Like in no way did I believe I could be successful at something like this. But she was convinced that she was gonna, and she was convinced that I could too. And so, even though I didn't really believe in myself at first, I really eventually believed her. I believed her belief because she was genuine. Like, she really believed it. And I was definitely a hard no at first, but she continued to follow up and try to inspire me. And like Eva said, she showed me one of the Diamond's paychecks. And that was just like, whoa, like I could not even conceive of what I would do with that much money a month. And I, again, definitely did not think that I could do that, but she did. And I just, she was just contagious. And so I was intrigued. And eventually I did jump in. Okay. So next question. What did your this question has been answered by several of you already, but what did your sponsor see in you that made her think that you could be successful at this? Looking back now, what do you think the signs were that you were a high potential person even before you started the business? Amber, let's start with you on this one.
Okay. Well, first, we are so glad you said yes, Brittany, and I love your story. What did she see in me? She saw my mom. So I love my story because I think that it gives so much power to what network marketing is and what it can be, and to people who feel like they don't have big networks or a lot of influence. So if that's you on this call, I really want you to hear this. My upline is Elizabeth Spone. Her and her husband are both diamonds now in Alaska. And they have two of the largest teams in Plexus, my team, and then if you know like Brooke Hemingway, that's a whole nother team on her husband's side. And my sponsor did this twice over, okay? She looked at someone that had a big network. So that was my mom. My mom, Lori Bradford, she spoke. She's the one who signed up Kristen Love. And Kristen Love signed up three of these diamonds on this call that just spoke, right? And so many. So huge, huge networks. They did not have social media. It wasn't Facebook. That's not where all this came from. It was just influence among their circle. My mom didn't even know how to post on Facebook. So don't think when we say influence, we're not talking follower account. We're talking a genuine person that has connections with people. So she saw my mom and she knew Lori has influence with other women and she's a powerhouse. My mom was a stay-at-home mom for 25 years, but you could tell it. And she knew she did not have influence with my mom. Like if Lizzie had gone to my mom, she would have written it off just because Lizzie was my age. We were both early 20s. She knew us as Lizzie as a teenager, right? We were just like kids in her eyes. But Lizzie knew she had influence with me. She was my bridesmaid in my wedding. So she thought if I can get Amber, I can get Lori through Amber. And I'm so grateful she did. So and that's what she did. She for 3 months tried to get me to use the products, got me to an event where I heard about the Paychex Possible, and I said yes because I had dreams for our family. And then she said, okay, we got to get your mom. And then we got my mom to an event and in a room, which is a whole story of itself. And within 11 months, my mom went diamond. Okay, like that's crazy because of what she saw in the vision. So that's what my sponsor saw. And she did the exact same thing a second time, repeated it to create another massive, large organization. So the question that I would have you guys, and I'm always asking still, is who do I know that has connections to a large network or has influence? I have a lot of young girls because I started when I was 23 that will say, how do you help college students? And I'm always get the moms, right? Because they have 45, 50 years of networking experience. So that's what my sponsor saw.
That's a great story. So earlier when I was talking to Amber, she said, I don't think my sponsor actually saw the potential in me. She saw the potential in my mom, and I was just the connector. And so I'm just like, that's so fascinating to me because when I'm thinking about who I would like to recruit, that's a high achiever. Amber would be like the exact prototype. Like if I was going to make ideal client avatar, it would be like her name would be Amber. She would look like Amber, she would act like Amber, and she would talk like Amber, and like she would basically be Amber. Like I see so much potential in Amber. So I just think that, and also Amber, I'm curious, like when you started this, like did you see potential in yourself? Like did you believe that you could be a diamond before you recruited your mom?
Well, thank you, first off. It's very kind. Um, I had a lot of vision and a lot of dreams. And my mom saw she would like want to talk about me all day long, so don't unmute her. My mom saw that in me, and she would tell you that. And I wasn't entrepreneurial at heart. Like I had multiple businesses on my own, like selling chicken eggs and baking bread and waking up at 2:30 in the morning to work at a bakery with a baby on my back. So like I had drive and grit, like Alita said, milking cows. Um, I had drive and grit. I did not see myself as having the confidence to do what I do now, like stand on stage and speak and train. That all had to be developed. And so I'm very grateful. And like I have developed multiple jewels now outside of mom and tons of people outside of my mom. And I'm very, very grateful that network marketing forced me to have to develop that side of myself. And that's like one of the greatest gifts that it has given me is to carve that out.
Totally agree. Yep, I have same similar. And I just want you guys to know that like a lot of times people think that the high achievers, they look like these bold, confident people like Christina. Like Christina just presents as confident, you know. And sometimes they don't look like that at first. Sometimes they look like people who work hard and maybe they have integrity and people would trust them, but their confidence is not there, and confidence is something they develop along the way. That is definitely true for me. I would say I became more confident after I hit Emerald, and I was earning a six-figure paycheck. That definitely boosted my confidence, but I wouldn't say I was truly confident, like really had confidence that I really can accomplish whatever I decide I'm going to accomplish until well after I was diamond. And so that, I mean, it took me 7 years to go diamond. So I didn't look like this confident, bold person when I started this. Those are things I developed along the way too. So if you're thinking somebody's got to have all this confidence to be a diamond, not true. All right. Wendy, Brenda, Eva, Lori, what were the qualities your sponsor saw in you? I think Amber probably just answered that for Lori, but what were the qualities that your sponsor saw in you that made her think that you could be successful? What were the signs that she saw?
Well, I can tell you what Kirsten said to me. I don't know if it's what she saw in me. But she said to me, "You are successful at anything you do." I've seen it over and over because she and I were friends on Facebook. She had seen me, I don't know, like anything I went after, I ended up achieving. So she probably saw that achievement side in me. And that's definitely, I think, kind of a key takeaway in certain personalities. It's like, how hard are they working and what are they achieving and looking and doing? So
Yeah.
and she told me that. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
she probably was telling the truth, Wendy. I can see it. I can see it. I mean, you do have to look for fruit in like whatever area of their life. If they can be successful at one hard thing that would require discipline, doesn't matter what it is. Could be motherhood, could be marriage, could be fitness. Something that requires discipline that they're successful at. If they can do that hard thing, they could do this hard thing.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
I would say the same on that. But as far as she told me that too. But the second part of your question, did you ask that was looking back, what signs do you see that in yourself that you are a high capacity leader? Yeah. Because my husband even told me this. He's like, you have done such a good job at like running your household and keeping your time controlled that you can work this into. And I just commented in the chat that busy people are great to recruit because they know how to make things happen. But I do want to clarify something with that. I mean busy people who are doing it successfully, who are managing their time, who are disciplined, like you said. I do not mean busy people who are just busy to be busy, who won't even get back with you with your messages and just say, "Oh, I just didn't get to it today," because they asked you for accountability and you're like checking in with them like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't get to it today because my day just got away from me, or I had to run here and around there." They're always in their car. Every time you talk to them, every time you get on a Zoom, they're walking or talking in their car. That's not the kind of busy I mean. I mean the people who have their lives under control because they're busy, because they are making room in their lives and they are able to make more room for the next thing.
So good. So they're intentional about their priorities that matter.
Could you tell I got a little bit fired up about that one?
So you don't have anybody in your mind as you're saying all of that.
No, just
no picture
theoretically.
So good, Brenda. All right, Eva, how about you?
Okay, so I messaged Kristen to ask her this because I was like, I don't know, what did she think I was? And she said that I was vibrant, courageous, and creative, and I loved people. And I was very much like this online. I was making things with my hand. I was making things like to give to people. I was making herbal concoctions to help people, and I didn't know how to ask them to pay for it. I was just such a people person. And she said I did things like pen pals. I don't remember even doing that. but I was on social media to like make friends and invest into people and learn from them. Like it was always, that's what social media was for me at that time. And it still is, but that's what she saw. And so, that's
You're
why, I
also
guess that's why she,
funny and you're smart and you're Amish.
yeah,
Kidding.
exactly.
She's
Inside
not
joke,
actually
guys. I'm not actually Amish.
Amish.
What
All
was the
right.
other half of your question though?
What were the signs that you were a high capacity leader even
Oh,
before Plexus?
oh, I don't think she would have seen that in me, that I was that, except for I had influence over people because of my givingness or like in that way people were trusting in me. But leadership was something like way later. Like I was scared of all of the things that Amber was saying, like, and I still am. Like I still, it's the hardest part for me is like the leadership part and the like being on the stage part and those things. That's something that grew way later. So I don't think she ever like saw me like she saw Wendy and Brenda like natural leadership, but it's something that she knew because I had grit in learning things and wanting to do new things. And my personality was like, okay, she could learn this. She could do this.
Yeah. Well, I think she probably did see leadership in you, Eva. Leadership is just influence. And you were already influencing. And you have 5 kids that you were also influencing. So she probably did see that. I mean, there's no way she couldn't have. You have 5 stars on your diamond account, and you've got your husband's account to diamond, and he has 3 stars. So essentially, you're 8 stars. So basically, you're amazing, and you can't do that without leadership. So obviously, she saw that somehow somewhere in there. It was probably your Amishness.
Stop.
I'm kidding. All right. Lori, do you want to answer this one too?
Yeah, because I think I'm a little bit different. I'm not like the type of typical person that somebody would think they're looking for because I'm quiet. And, I did have influence though, and I think my influence was different from what other people have mentioned. And that is that I'm very reliable. Like one thing Amber will say is do not tell my mom that you're going to like do anything because if you tell her, she's going to hold you to it. And I kind of hold myself to the same standard. Like if I say I'm going to do whatever, then I'm going to do it. So I had a reputation of being trustworthy. And then I also was somebody that rose to the occasion even though it came in a very quiet version. And that's why I wanted to mention that because I'm quiet and more introverted, it makes me a really good observer of people. So if you want to recruit somebody like me, because one of my secret talents is I can spot talent in others and I can call it out really, really well. So don't bypass people because they're more quiet or their influence doesn't look the same as other people.
So true, Lori. So true. So what do you think Elizabeth saw in you that made her say, Amber, you have to get your mom?
I think I hosted a lot of things. Like my home was very open. I had a lot of people over. I was very reliable. I showed up on time. I invested in other people's lives, even though it was not in an extroverted way, like I would say at all. And I had my hands in a lot of different things. And I pursued learning and growth and was kind of a catalyst for other people for learning and growth. Is that what you would say, Amber? Or
Yeah, I said you were scary, but yes.
Yeah,
By
I'm,
scary, I mean, we were early 20s, like we were kids, and mom was like the adult, very adult. So that's what we saw.
I love it. Okay, well, I think the learner thing, I think that's a huge piece of it. She probably wasn't looking at you going, Lori's reliable. We have to get Lori. She's reliable. But she probably was thinking, Lori has influence. Lori invests in people. People trust Lori. She can get people to do things. If Lori says that this is a healthy product, everybody's going to believe her. That's probably what she was thinking.
Well, people listened to her because she spoke with conviction.
Yep.
Like there wasn't any, will you, if you, I don't know, maybe interested. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
belief.
this is what you need right now. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Confidence.
Yeah. Yes, because she really believes it. One of
Yeah.
Lori's best qualities is her high belief. And
She
there's a
called me up
quote.
and Can I throw
Oh,
one thing
sorry. Go
about
ahead,
Lori?
Brenda.
So I had a phone call with her and she said, "You've got to do this now because I think it's sort of like Steve Jobs in his garage or something. If you don't take a hold of it now, it's going to get away from you. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity." So yeah, she was a little
Mhm.
scary in a
Yeah.
good, very good way.
So one quote that I've always heard in network marketing is, it's not the people with the best systems or the best personality or even the best skills that make the most money. It's the people with the highest belief. And every time I hear that, I think of Lori. Lori really does believe in our products, in Plexus, in this opportunity, in every part of it. And when you really genuinely believe something, you have no problem communicating it. So I really think belief is at the root of that. All right. Next question. What was it that finally like sold you on this opportunity and made you think, okay, I'm doing this. Oh wait, I skipped this question. Let me come back. Before Plexus, what was going on in your life professionally and personally that kind of made you open to looking at this? Were you actively looking for an opportunity? Like what all was going on? Marianne, let's hear from you.
I was thinking about this today on my run, and one of the biggest things is that I just had this like knowing that something had to change, that the path that we were on was not what we dreamed of, what we wanted. And so I was looking for a way to change our circumstances. I was looking for a way to change our lifestyle. And so, you know, when I was introduced to this, I remember thinking, like maybe this could be the thing that is going to change the trajectory of where we're going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, love it. Wendy?
Sorry, we were poor. We were just broke, broke little church mice. Yeah, my husband worked a full-time job and then two part-time jobs. And so I was home alone with the kids from he left for work at 5 in the morning and didn't get home sometimes until after they were in bed. And I just thought, I think my biggest thing was I'm raising two boys without their father being able to be their biggest influencer. And I wanted their father to be their biggest influencer. And so if I could just do something from home that could take something off his plate so he could influence his sons, then that's all I wanted.
Yeah.
And that's basically what happened. Like one side job was eliminated and another side job was eliminated, and he still works his full-time job because that is just the man that he is, but he influenced those boys into great young men today. And I'm so thankful for Plexus for that.
Same. So similar here. Whenever I started this, I was open to an opportunity. I wasn't open to this one specifically at first because I didn't think I could do it. But I mean, we had 5 kids at the time. We had one income, and it just seemed like, I mean, my husband worked very hard. Sometimes he'd work 3 jobs, just so we could have some extra money. And then that would mean if he was working that much, we didn't see him. And I didn't want that either, and so it just felt like when he would get a raise or a little Christmas bonus, like once a year get an incremental raise, it's very easy to adjust your lifestyle to a small incremental raise, and so you just be sitting there thinking like, is this what we do until we die? Like we wait a whole year to make a little bit more, and then we adjust to that, and then like we still have to say no to like a whole lot of things that we value. Is this really like all there is? And so I was similar to Marianne. Like I felt like we were not on the trajectory I wanted us to be on either, and I didn't really see hope for how it would be better in the coming decade or two, and so I was open to opportunities. I just didn't think I could do this one. But I will say, I'll echo Wendy too. Like my husband, because of this opportunity, he doesn't have to work. He does work, but he doesn't have to. But he has choices, and he has been so very present in my children's most formative years. And I think that it's a huge part of their character development. And I would say it's more valuable than the money itself. The presence of my husband, stress-free presence of my husband, has been more valuable than the money in our bank account that has afforded the lifestyle that we now live. All right, next one. What was it that sold you on this opportunity and made you think, okay, I'm going to do this? What was it about this opportunity that like appealed to your personality, your goals for your life, et cetera, et cetera? What was it that finally made you say, yes, I'm doing it? Brenda?
Well, it was actually a couple things. First thing I think truly was hearing what diamonds make, because I was already helping my husband with our home business, working so hard. And I had looked at other things I could do to work so hard. So like, I could work really hard, like seriously long hours. I had the grit, all the things, maybe $50 to $100 a day. But when you're making 2K a day, you look at that and you go, that this is way smarter. Like it just seemed so much smarter. And then when my husband sat down and looked at the comp plan, he really, really helped me see that this is genuinely different than and more fair than any other business plan that he had ever looked at. And he was very anti-network marketing, but he said, this is like level playing field. And I think you can do it. You can go to the top. So I don't know, what was the question again? Did that answer it?
Basically what sold you on the biz. But I love that. I love you got your husband on board. Not only are you a diamond, your husband is also a diamond, which is just mind blowing. Eva, how about you? Were you on this one?
Yes. So my husband looked at the compensation plan. He was like sold on it. He had researched a bunch of them before Plexus, and he's like, this one pays fair right from the beginning. And so he was sold on that. But for me, it was just seeing there was so many other women that could do this and that they were doing it. Like I didn't need to be a certain somebody, change the whole way I am. I wanted to be truly myself. Like I didn't need to be someone like, it sounds weird, but super special. I could just be regular me and do this and love on people. And that just made it feel doable to see so many women doing it and being successful at it. So it was that belief piece for me, for sure.
So good. Amber?
I think mom wanted to answer this one.
Okay. I don't see her
Yeah.
on this one.
I
But
do
yeah,
really want to answer this
love to
one.
hear from you, Lori.
Okay. So first I had to love the products. I kind of decided I wanted to do this business in increments. First was the products, and that aligned with what I wanted to do with my life. Second was the second meeting that Amber got me to. The first meeting warmed me up. The second meeting, I had kind of forgotten that I said I would even go to it, because I was like, I like these products. I'll take it. You already got my credit card. You already signed me up. I'll probably refer a few people, but I wasn't deciding to like run with the business. But she got me into the last 20 minutes of a training meeting in person with Sonia and a room full of people. And actually, it was the people's objections. When I heard, because I knew what Sonia was making, and I heard their objections, and they sounded really whiny. And they also sounded really unreasonable, where I was like, really? You're going to let that stop you from this paycheck? Like, these are the types of problems that you're having? Because these are just like normal human conversation problems. Like, I could overcome that all day long. Like, I will have fun with that. That will not stop me. So it was that meeting that really made me decide. And then the last thing that pushed me over the edge was meeting people that did the business. Because, like so many people, I didn't want to be one of those people. I wanted to be a person that always put people first. And I had so many people in this community that didn't make a dime off of me, but really wanted to pour into me and invest in me because they were so appreciative and loved what they had. And I was like, check box, check box, check box.
I think this speaks to the power of in-person events. I think it's so important that we all get back to that and get people in the room. I love that. All right, Christina.
I think what made me say yes to this was just the idea that hard work was never, I'm like Lori, like you're not going to scare me with hard work. I'm going to work hard no matter what I'm doing. I always have. But the idea that I could work hard and I wouldn't be capped at any sort of, I was a school teacher, fourth grade. And so, you can only make what the state of Georgia says you're worth as a school teacher. And it didn't matter how hard you taught, there's no way to like make more money. And so the idea that I could get paid in direct proportion to the value I brought to the company felt like y'all about to get some value from me. Like I just have to figure out how to bring value to the company, bring consumers to the company, bring leaders to the company, and then my paycheck can go up as much as I want it to. Yes, please. So that was attractive. I'm a type 3, so I want to win. I want to win a prize, any prize, every prize. And so the fact that there's always something to be working toward, that is just, it's just the way God wired me. So if it's a contest, if it's a trip, if it's an iPad, a laptop, I can't tell you how much technology our house has because I've earned it for free. So it's just, it's part of what I love. And then I've always been a team sport player. So Brittany used this line one time. She said, if you can learn how to sell the products, you can make some fun money. But if you can learn how to help develop people and help other people learn how to be successful here, you can achieve financial freedom. And I thought, okay, that sounds like a team sport. I like a team sport. I don't want to do things by myself, so let's do that. So that was that.
So good. All right, Marianne, what sold you on this biz?
Let me ask, when you guys joined, had you ever done network marketing before? Put in the chat. My story is a little bit different because I believed in it. My mom started in network marketing when I was 13. So I grew up in it, and Plexus was not around. So sad, or she's now in Plexus and running for Diamond this month. But it was not then. This was like in the 90s, right? And so I believed in it. But I had a lot of growing up to do, and I had a lot of growth to do, right? So I joined network marketing when I was 18 years old, and life happened, and I had been out for 5 years when I was introduced to Plexus. And so I'm sharing this because a lot of people that we talk to now have done something like this before, and I just want to tell you what was going through my head if you come across them, because it's not about like our comp plan is the best. Our culture is the best. It is, okay? But most people that have done something like this before are looking, and this was me, I didn't realize it at the time, but like, is this my home? Like, could I see myself? Are these my people? And so I was introduced to it through watching Trisha on social media. You might think nobody's watching. I was watching for 6 months and didn't tell her, okay? And she showed up every single day like she does, with passion, with enthusiasm. This is before you could put up pretty slides and pictures. And she was, I think, going for Ruby at the time. And every morning she would get on there and share how many they needed and what was going on. And I just was like, obsessed. Like, this is so exciting. Is she going to do it? Is she going to hit the rank? And so I watched it like it was this TV show almost, but I started feeling this in my soul. I'm like, oh, this girl is my person. She's passionate. I don't even know about the comp plan, the products, whatever, but I could just like feel that pull. And so it's very important, guys, that you are your authentic self on, social media or wherever you are. There was nothing fancy about it, nothing. And she was going senior Ruby. So I joined her the month she went Emerald, and she was going senior Ruby. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm going to message this girl and I'm going to join her team and I'm going to run with her all the way to the top. And I just could feel it, right? And so for me, it was the energy, it was the passion, it was the just raw and realness that I just thought, okay, this is it. This is where I need to be.
So good. I love it. All right. So we're almost out of time here. I have so many more questions I wanted to ask, but I'm just going to pick a few to end with. So real quick, what mistakes do you think people make when trying to recruit high achievers, Christina?
A couple of things that I think people make when they are trying to recruit somebody that they think is a high achiever. Number one, you try to rush or force the process. A high achiever is not going to be forced into doing anything. They do not want to comply with what you want them to do. They want to know what is in it for them. Don't try to force or rush a decision from a high achiever. Number two, do not expect to be able to attract a high achiever if you are not achieving. It's not attractive to a high achiever for you to not be achieving. So it's unrealistic for you to think an A player or someone who has the potential to become an A player wants to join someone who is happy staying a C player. What's going to attract a high performer or a high achiever is going to be someone who is constantly pursuing growth, who's going to do things with excellence, and who's going to determine to move ahead with or without them. High achievers also don't want needy folks. Okay, so just know if you want a high performer to come join you, you have to be achieving. Doesn't mean that you have to be loud. Brittany's not loud. She's very introverted, but she was accomplishing things and I was watching, because if I'm going to put myself out there and I'm going to determine if I'm going to decide to do something, I needed to know what she was going to be about. But at no point did she try to push me or make me comply or dangle something small. High achievers aren't going to go for something small. I want a prize, but remember, I never ever wanted to make some money quick and that be it. It would do me no good to make a bunch of money one time and then lose it all, because freedom is a top value of mine. So is security. So I didn't want to build something that was going to be here today, gone tomorrow. So if she had said, "Could you please cover your products? Here's $300, maybe that." No. If she had led with that, it'd have been an automatic no for me. So
Yeah, I agree with all that, and I would add to that, you should, if you want to attract somebody who has high potential, you should either be achieving, or you should at a minimum make people believe that you will be. I mean, Kristen Love, she recruited 3 of the diamonds on this call, right? And they all said she had just joined 2 weeks prior. So it's not like she had achieved much yet, but they believed she would, right? Because her belief was there. So I think that the belief, like, that has to be communicated. Eva, you have anything you want to add to that?
Yes. The one mistake that I see people making with this is like maybe like a yellow personality trying to, I'm going to get some reds and I'm really going to find some reds, and then not do what Christina just said. Like they're not themselves trying to be high achievers or trying to achieve things, but just like, I'm going to get someone to do the work for me, that. But also don't assume what a high achiever looks like. Like a high achiever isn't always going to look like what you imagine, like a Christina. They're just somebody who won't settle. They're somebody who sees the big picture. They do not complain over and over about something. They have an issue, they work on it. They don't stay the same. They're willing to change, they're willing to grow. So Christina and I have very similar answers to this, but they just don't assume that they look a certain way or they work harder. They do work, but their mindset is a different mindset. They could be any personality.
Yeah. Yeah, they're usually somebody who invests
Very solution-minded people.
and they invest in relationships. I'd say that's the number one thing. They invest in relationships. They do care about people. They have a work ethic.
They're very decisive.
Yeah.
They don't think about things for long. They're very decisive.
Yeah.
Someone asked in the comments what color we are, if you go by the colors. And I think that's very interesting because we are all high achievers, but we're not all the same color. And I think that's because of passion and belief, not because of our personality that instilled something in us, that we developed the skills needed to rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
Can I add one thing, Britt?
Yeah.
We had this conversation the other day with some leaders on our team, and they said, I just don't know anybody that's like you guys are. Like, I want to attract high performers, but I don't know anybody that's like Brittany or like you yet. And I think we have to be careful, because you have to remember who we were when we were recruited back then. We had none of this success back then. We had fruit in other areas of our life. We had joy in, another thing, high performers, they're not sad sacks. Okay. We had joy in other areas of our life. There was evidence of the fact that we were figuring some things out. Like Brenda said, we were busy, but we had it under control. High performers very rarely feel out of control, but it's not who they are right now. It's like you look at them and you see, man, if they decided to do the work and the growth that would be required here, who could they become? That's what you call out. So if Brittany were looking for this version of me back then, she would not have found it. I didn't read books. I wasn't well learned. I was well studied. I was highly educated. But there were things that I do now that I didn't do then. So you're looking for the kind of person that if they developed, if they were willing, if they were hungry and coachable, who then could they become?
Preach. All right. So good. So good. I really wish we could go another hour. I want to keep talking. Okay, but we're going to end it. And I'm just going to ask this last question to Alita. If your sponsor had never invited you and did not just get, if she just asked you one time and just took no as no and didn't keep following up those 18 months, how different would your life look today?
I mean, that makes me obviously super emotional. If you know my story, is that, when she was reaching out to me, when Jen was reaching out to me, she had no idea what our finances looked like. We were doing decently well. Like we were a typical middle class kind of family. And I never would have ever exposed any kind of like, construction world feast or famine type of living. So she never would have known. But what she didn't know that was coming in my life was that I would be suddenly widowed with no life insurance with 4 kids. And I want you to picture yourself in all of a sudden a life-altering situation where you really don't have control over your time or money or your circumstances in that place, where all of a sudden everything is just turned upside down. And I remember just thinking in that moment, like I called her. She was one of my, first 10 calls during when all that was going on. And I knew instantly, like I was just like, I'm going all in. Like, I know this is the weirdest time to tell you this. Like, my husband's passed away and I'm going to be Emerald like ASAP, because I knew that this was the only way that I could keep my kids with me and put food on the table. I mean, basic necessities to live, and not just roll over and accept the circumstances that were there for me. And so I'm always forever saying, like, who's the Alita in your network that just because they don't show the signs of needing this opportunity may not need it down the road. And I would be a completely different person. I would be living a completely different lifestyle, down to just the simple things of, and this is just real vulnerable, is that I probably would have got married to the wrong person too soon in an effort to bring security into my home. And so when Wendy was talking about, I want my husband to have influence over my kids, I wanted to marry the right man to have influence over my kids. And in a really weird roundabout way, Plexus is the reason for that, because I was able to make a solid decision on that because of the income that it brought for me. So I would probably be, living on government assistance, married to some loser somewhere, some sad sack, Christina, being like, come on, be a high achiever, let's go. So no, really, for real, it really, I don't even like to really picture it. I don't spend much time visualizing that. But yeah, it just completely shifted everything for me.
Yeah. And I think all of these diamonds on here would say something similar, because the fact is that being a diamond changes your entire life. And it doesn't just change your life, it changes the trajectory of your children's future. Because of who you have to become in the process of becoming a diamond, that impacts who your kids are going to become. It impacts who your husband becomes. It impacts all the people around you. There's such a ripple effect that you will probably never even see all of it this side of heaven, but it changes a whole lot of things, and it definitely changes you. Not just your bank account, not just your lifestyle, but you, your family, what's most important here and to eternity. So, all right, y'all.
Maybe
This
that
was
can
so
be our
good.
part 2, Brittany.
What? Like,
The vision, the future, how it's changed our families.
yes, I think we
People
need
are
to
asking for a part 2.
Yeah, did y'all love this call? I definitely did. I
So-
loved the whole conversation. I wish we could do this more often. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Love you, ladies. Thank you for just being diamonds. Thank you for being amazing, inspiring, awesome people who just cause everybody around you to want to level up. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your expertise here tonight. Loved all your answers. I really appreciate your friendship. And see y'all next time. All right. Bye.